Hello everyone, so I saw the highly anticipated Avengers Infinity War. It is currently 10:30 and I am very tired because today I woke up at 4:30 to go to work. Um, not 4:30 p.m., 4:30 a.m. obviously. Anyways, I should talk about the movie, right? Um, this review is going to be all over the place. Sorry about that. I won't talk about spoilers until the end of this video. The last part of this video will be dedicated just to spoilers. So when I talk about spoilers, I will warn you. So that way, if you haven't seen the movie yet, which I highly recommend you do, I'm sure you're going to see it. I'm sure everyone's going to see it. Um, if you haven't seen it, don't watch that part of the video. When you do see it, come back to this video and feel free to check that out. But anyways, yeah, this is the 19th movie. I'm talking very quietly, by the way, because people are trying to sleep right now. Um, this is the 19th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And in my estimation, the biggest film of all time because the ensemble cast is huge. The budget, everything, the scale, the scope, everything about this movie is gigantic. Um, yeah, and the fact that it took, 19 movies to get to this point to make this giant blockbuster of a film, like I said, with this huge cast, an ensemble of like tons of characters and high prolific actors. It's gonna be a big money maker. I assume it'll probably either be first, second, or third highest grossing movie of all time because right now it's Titanic. Or no, it's Avatar, then Titanic, and then Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Right? I think it'll beat out The Force Awakens for sure. Um, Maybe Titanic. I don't know about Avatar because that was obviously it's number one. But anyways, the movie itself was really good. The thing is, there's a lot to process, right? I'm not gonna go into detail, obviously, yet. Um, there's just a lot to process with this movie, all throughout it, that I can't really like. I know it was good. You know what I mean? This really needs a lot of time for me to process. Other movies I reviewed on this channel, I usually review them right after I see them. Actually, I think that's the only way I've done it. And like I always say, oh, I'm still processing it. But for the most part, I always like know, okay, this is my opinion of the movie. Like I know for sure. Right now with this, it's just like it's a unique thing where I've never had an experience with a movie this huge in scale with so much to process. Um, I think I reviewed Civil War and I might have said the same thing with, oh, this movie's got such a huge ensemble and all this stuff and I was praising it, but that was 2 years ago, right? Civil War compared to this in terms of having an ensemble and all these characters, it's not even close, right? But yeah, there's just too much to process. But the movie was definitely great. Like it was really great. I did have one like major problem though. It's not even like a problem. It's more of like a personal kind of thing. I'm sure other people are gonna have this problem because I saw a review of it already. I believe it was Chris Stuckman. He's a good reviewer, by the way. I'm sure you've heard of him. Um, he had the same complaint as I did, and that was that there's a lot of tonal shifts, changes, whatever you want to say, that kind of like aren't necessary. Well, I get why they happen, but the thing is, okay, obviously in this movie there's going to be dramatic things, there's going to be funny things, and there's parts where it's like there's a very dramatic thing that happens, and then you get some time to process and you know um, get all your feelings going about what happens, and then literally like a minute or two later, maybe less, something really funny happens that you're supposed to laugh at, and there's a lot of humor in this movie, by the way. It was really funny too. So like I would say it was like there's more dramatic probably, excuse me, than funny in this movie. But my big problem was really when something very emotional happens, but then like not too long afterwards, it's like something funny and you know. But it's not like a huge, like I said, it's not like a problem. It's not like a huge thing for me. Well, I kind of said it was my huge thing. Anyways, I'm just like really trying to comprehend everything that I just saw. The movie's 2.5 hours. Honestly, I love this stuff. I know this is my thing. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I love this shirt, by the way. They're selling this at Hot Topic. Infinity War merchandise. This whole like Marvel universe, this whole series, I love it. I love all these movies. X-Men movies. All the Marvel movies. I'm a big fan of everything. DC's a different story, but I'm not going to get into DC. DC's got a lot of good stuff and a lot of bad stuff. But I'm just a huge fan of this stuff. It's like so many things were happening, so many different worlds were colliding, so many different characters that I thought would never meet. And you know what? I will say, you figure the trailers would give away a lot. The trailers do give away, some stuff, but like there's a lot of stuff I was like, oh, whoa, I did not expect that. I did not see any of this in the trailer anywhere. Which is a good thing because you don't want the trailers to give away everything. But yeah, all the characters were great. The cast was great. All these characters you already know: Spider-Man, Iron Man, everybody, Hulk. I'm not gonna go off and list everybody, but all the characters were great. There's a few characters from other movies you thought wouldn't appear in this movie that do. I'm not gonna say anything like specifics, but certain. Oh, they're in the movie. Okay. My spoiler section is probably going to be very long for this video because there's a lot to talk about. But I did see this movie with my sister, and on the way home, we were talking a lot about the movie, so I've already kind of talked about a lot of things. So I have had a little bit of time to process, but not nearly enough. But yeah, I would say the movie does live up to the hype, probably, which is crazy because this movie's got all the hype. I don't know if there's ever been more hype for any movie. I would say it lived up to the hype for me. I'm satisfied. It's just the way everything concludes, I should say, is like, I don't know. I can't talk about it right now, but I don't know. But I do want to talk about Josh Brolin as Thanos. I was already a big fan of Josh Brolin. No Country for Old Men. Men in Black 3, actually. He did a great job in that as a young Tommy Lee Jones. Also, I saw him in The Goonies back in the day, obviously. I think that was his first movie. He was in a bunch of other stuff. But he was really good as Thanos. I was hearing all the praise that he was getting, and yeah, it's well-deserved, because he did a great job. He obviously played Thanos, 2 times already, but they were very brief. Guardians of the Galaxy, and also in Age of Ultron, after the credits, right? During the credits, I should say. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But anyways, he did a great job. Like I said, the whole cast was good. The action was spectacular, by the way. There's one sequence in particular that's like, whoa. And if you've seen the trailer, you probably know which one it is. It's like a big thing. A big sequence. Certain character interactions. I can't talk about it. I just can't talk about it right now. Anything else we can mention that's not a spoiler? Like I can just vaguely say. Yeah, I don't know. They just did a very good job crafting this movie together. I understand how difficult it is with all these characters and personas and everything. It's kind of like what happened in the first Avengers with Joss Whedon. He was able to successfully, have all the people, work together and get equal amounts of screen time and dialogue and everything like that. Age of Ultron kind of did the same thing, but it kind of felt a little more Marvel generic. It didn't feel as grand as the first Avengers did, right? But this one feels a little more Return to the first Avengers, where it's everybody gets equal time and representation and stuff. Yeah, and Thanos is a great villain and everything. Yeah, so I guess I'll just go on to the rating now, because I don't have much else to say that isn't a spoiler. I could definitely give it at least an 8 out of 10, right? I almost want to give it a 9 out of 10. It's just I don't know. Because a 9 out of 10 is a really good score. Maybe 8.5 is fair. I feel like I've probably given other movies 8.5 that weren't as good as this, maybe. Okay, for example, Thor Ragnarok, right? That's on my mind a lot right now, for certain reasons I won't say. I'll say more in the spoiler part. But that movie, I think I might have gave an 8.5, right? Or an 8. I feel like I gave an I can't speak, an 8.5. So I'll probably give this a 9 because I think it was better. But I love Thor Ragnarok. The movie's so fun. But this is a completely different thing, like in terms of tone and everything, structure. I'll just give this a 9 out of 10 for now. And I did want to do another video where I re-rank the MCU movies, because I did a ranking video before Doctor Strange came out, I think. I think Civil War was the newest one at the time. So that's what I'm looking at them right there on my shelf right there. That's the 12th, 13th movie. 10, 11, 12, 13th. So there was 13 at the time. Infinity War is the 19th movie, so there's more. So I need to re-rank these movies in a new video. I really wanted to do that before I saw this movie. I was going to be like, okay, since Infinity War's coming out, I'll do a re-ranking. And then once I see Infinity War, I'll tell you where I put it. But I said, you know what, let me just see Infinity War first, and then that way, when I re-rank these movies, it's included. It's definitely in the top 10 for sure. Top 5, I don't know. Top 5 definitely includes, in no particular order, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Iron Man 3. I love Iron Man 3. I know a lot of people don't like it. Probably... I'm just going off the top of my head. I don't remember what my actual ranking was. Trying to think. Maybe I had Avengers 1 in the top 5, I want to say. And then I might have had... What did I have? Maybe the first Iron Man? I don't even know. Sorry. I've been up too long. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to give it a 9 out of 10. Maybe in the top 5 of MCU, even with all the new movies that have come out since Civil War. It was really good. So, like I said, it's only 12 minutes for this part of the video. Sorry about that. I wish it could be longer. But I just have a lot to say that is a spoiler. So, anyways, if you have not seen the movie, please, I'm begging you, see the movie before I talk about spoilers. Because obviously this movie was kept top secret, even from the cast. The cast members of this movie didn't know everything that happened in it, right? So, spoilers, watch out for any spoilers from anybody. Avoid social media, I guess. I don't know how hard that might be for you, but please just don't watch the rest of this video if you haven't seen the movie, okay? Alright. So, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Spoilers, okay. So, here's the big thing for me. I mentioned Thor Ragnarok. Now, I went back and rewatched all these movies in anticipation for this, right? It took maybe, I did it not every single day. Maybe I watched 1 a day or 2 a day, but like there was days in between where I didn't watch any, right? And I did that a couple weeks ago. So right now, the latest movie I can watch is Thor Ragnarok, because Black Panther's still in theaters. I did see Black Panther, but that was a couple months ago. I only saw it once. So the most recent entry I watched was Thor Ragnarok, and I love that movie. It's very fun, it's very silly, it's got like such a fun, entertaining vibe to it. There's a little bit of sadness here and there in the movie, but it's like not even remotely as close to what happens at the start of this movie. So at the end of Thor Ragnarok, during the credits scene, we see Thor and Loki are on the ship still. And then you see a big spaceship show up, and obviously it's Thanos. Everyone's, oh, that's Thanos, right? So, it turns out to be true. The movie starts, Thanos has already wiped out all of those Asgardian people, and, Thor's laying on the floor beat up, Heimdall's laying on the floor beat up, and we're like, oh my god. This man just, slaughtered all these people, and he's obviously there for the Tesseract, right? So, I'm like, okay, this is already going off to a crazy start. Like, the last thing I'm adjusted to right now is Thor Ragnarok, which is a very fun, silly movie. And then when this movie starts, it's all, super serious and super, whoa, this is no joke. Thanos is no joke. So, obviously, what happens? No, he kills Heimdall first, which I'm just like, oh my god. That's, crazy to me. Because obviously there's going to be big deaths, but I wasn't expecting big deaths right away. I did have a feeling, though, the people on that ship weren't going to get the good end of this, right? They weren't going to make it out well, because Thanos' ship shows up, and it's like, uh-oh, this is serious. So I figured probably Heimdall was going to die. So that was sad, but I kind of half expected it. And then Loki, from the trailer, he has the Tesseract. He gives it to Thanos. But then, crazy Loki, he pulls out a knife and tries to stab him. And then Thanos killed Loki. I mean, that was nuts. And like I said, I love Thor Ragnarok. And in that movie, Loki and Thor ended on such good terms. It seemed like, right? And even with when Thanos was crushing Thor's head, and Loki's like, "Go ahead, kill him," and he's like, "Stop," I was like, yeah, Loki, doesn't want to see his brother actually die there. At first, I was like, oh, come on, Loki, why would you do that? But, oh, yeah, you're the god of mischief or whatever. I get it. But he told Thanos to stop. Don't do it. And he gave him the Tesseract and everything. But it was just so crazy that Loki is dead. My sister doesn't think he's dead, but I think he's dead. Because it's like, okay, Loki supposedly died at the end of the first Thor, supposedly died in the second Thor. But actually, no, they showed that he was still alive at the end of that movie. But, during that movie where he supposedly dies, it's like, okay, this is the second time now. So this time, I think Loki's dead for sure. Because, he suffocated him. He's dead. I'm sorry. I wish it wasn't true. But 2 big deaths right at the start of the movie. And I'm just like, oh, God, what are we in for? This is going to be death heavy. Thankfully, actually, it wasn't. I know the ending, which I'll get to. The ending is like, what was that? I don't think those people are dead. I won't get to that yet. But I was like, 2 big deaths right at the start of this. Super serious, super, this is no joke. He fights Hulk and then throws him out of there. No, Heimdall is able to get Hulk teleported to Earth. And then that's when Thanos killed Heimdall. Just crazy. This is just me, right? I was so worried about Korg. The guy with the blue rocks, the blue rock guy from Thor Ragnarok. Because at the end of that movie, it was Korg and then Valkyrie, right? They were both on that ship. So what happened to them? I really hope they're not dead. Because now here's my theory, right? The ending of Thor Ragnarok, they're all on the ship or whatever. And then they show the mid-credit scene with Loki and Thor on the ship still. They're talking to each other, and then you see Thanos' ship. You could tell some time has passed because they're wearing different clothing. They look a little, adjusted to living on this spaceship or whatever. So I'm thinking during that time period between the ending of Thor Ragnarok and then the mid-credit scene of Thor Ragnarok, that's maybe Valkyrie and Korg and little Meek, the little purple guy, Korg's friend. I assume they went somewhere else for whatever reason. I don't know. But it's just crazy to me because it's just like such a happy movie and like such a nice ending, and everyone's, they're on the ship or whatever, and they're going to start a new life. Asgard's not a place, it's a people. And then you start this movie and like they're all dead. It's just, I don't know, that just really struck a chord with me. I don't know. Just the tonal complete 180 from Thor Ragnarok. But I don't know. Maybe if I watch Black Panther again, it could be a nice in-between movie of those two to adjust me to the more seriousness of Infinity War. Yeah, but anyways, like I said, there was a lot of comedy. I really liked the comedy between Doctor Strange and Iron Man. That was fun stuff. Spider-Man was funny. And all the Guardian stuff was really great. I loved all that stuff. Oh, God. What really got me was Gamora. I had a feeling she wouldn't make it. I don't know. Because they showed in the trailer the little flashback scene with her as a kid. You see the little green hand grab his hand. That alone right there, I was like, oh God, something's going to happen to Gamora. She's going to have a big part in this, bigger than I thought, and she actually did, and God, that was so sad. I could not believe that he just killed her like that. And I get it, it gives Thanos layers, it gives him more of a character, more motivation, and more emotional, just all around, just gives him, he's not a generic villain. He's got a lot of different things going on, and you could tell he actually did love Gamora. She didn't love him per se, but I get it. It's like a super love-hate relationship, literally. It was just crazy, and she tried killing herself before he could kill her, and she was telling Star-Lord, hey, you have to kill me if he gets a hold of me or whatever, which is nuts. And I actually do like that Gamora and Star-Lord finally kissed each other, because that took, 2 movies to happen. And I see why they had to do it, because they killed off Gamora. which was so tragic. And you know that scene where Star Lord finds out, I was just like, oh no. I literally was saying out loud, oh no. Oh no, he's about to find out because you know Iron Man and Mantis and Drax, they all got a hold of Thanos. So like, yeah, we got him. And then Star Lord shows up, and I'm like, oh no, he's about to tell him. He's about to tell him he killed Gamora. And yeah, Star Lord freaks out, rightfully so. Which you could argue, oh, he shouldn't have did that. That was stupid. Why'd he freak out? And, you know, he just cost them everything. No, I mean, I could look past it. That was super emotional. So she's gone. She's not going to be in Guardians 3, which is nuts. Unless somehow they're going to do some resurrection thing. But you know what? I don't want them to resurrect characters. Aside from the ending, which, like I said, I don't think they're dead. Those people aren't dead. That vanished or whatever. That poofed away. I don't want them to resurrect anybody, even though I'm sad for the people that died. Gamora, Heimdall, Loki, and Vision. I'm pretty sure Vision's dead. All that stuff is very sad and tragic, but I don't want them to resurrect people like that because, you know, if you're going to have a death, make it permanent. Make it like, okay, this is it. It's done. They're gone. If you bring them back all the time, it's just like, what was the point? I mean, you know, there's obviously a lot of other things happening that give this movie a point, but that was crazy. You know, and then certain characters popped up in there, like the Collector, Spider-Man's friend, Ned, or whatever his name was. That was funny. He was in there for like a few seconds. Wong from Doctor Strange. That was cool to see him. Oh, Red Skull. That was so cool to see Red Skull. I did not expect that. Everyone in the theater was like, whoa, it's Red Skull. He finally came back after like 14 movies he was gone, I think. Which is crazy. So Red Skull showed up, and we finally figured out what the deal was with the Soul Stone. He had to kill Gamora. I figured that's what it was. They held off on revealing the Soul Stone for so long because they wanted to have this emotional thing in this movie to happen in order to get to it. They saved it for this, which I understand because that was the only one we never saw, right? Until this movie. So Red Skull showed up, which was amazing. And also, I was really surprised that he got all the stones. They tricked us in the trailer and in the poster, because if you look in that main poster, he's got like maybe 2 or 3. And in the trailer, when he's, you know, fighting Captain America, you see him pushing against the gauntlet. You can only see like 2 or 3. And no, during that actual scene, he had 5. He had 5 before he got to Vision's stone, which was in his head. So I like that they tricked us. I actually... Oh, another trick they gave us was Hawkeye and Ant-Man. Okay. What was up with that? Everyone was like, where's Hawkeye? He's not on the poster. He's not on the trailer. Same with Ant-Man. But people are making a bigger deal about Hawkeye, because Ant-Man's getting his own sequel. You know, the next movie's Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? So, it's not like we're going to be short on Ant-Man anytime soon. Excuse me. So, they briefly mentioned in the movie that Hawkeye and Ant-Man are not involving themselves because they were worried for their families. Now, I understand. Okay, you know, it makes sense for the characters. We saw Hawkeye had kids and a wife. And then, you know, Scott Lang, Ant-Man, he's got the daughter and his ex-wife, whatever, but I'm sure he still cares about her, obviously. So he was worried about them. I understand that. But I guess the reason they didn't include them in the movie was because it was just too much. They weren't really needed, I guess. That's my only reasoning for this. I was expecting maybe, they'd show up in the end credit scene. Because here's the thing. I think one of the directors, or both of the directors, or somebody was asked about Hawkeye, and they answered with, he has a special story in this movie, a special side story. Like, I was expecting this little subplot with Hawkeye, and it never happened. I was like, okay. So yeah, my only thinking is that they just weren't needed for the movie. It just would have been, there was already enough. So yeah, that's my only reasoning, I guess. It's not a problem or anything. I was just wondering what the heck. So anyways, I'm just jumping all over the place. Oh, you know what? Oh, man, I really thought Iron Man was gonna die right there when he got stabbed. Oh my god, my heart was beating so fast. I literally felt Like, really, right when he stabbed him, I went like this. Literally, everyone in the theater, like, gasped. Like, you could hear everyone gasp. Like, Iron Man's about to die. Like, I was like, my eyes were watering. My heart was beating. Um, I really thought it would happen because, this marks the 10-year anniversary of Iron Man, since this whole series started. Even the logo at the beginning of the movie, it had Marvel Studios, and then it had the 10, in studios. The IO was a 10. Um, I thought Iron Man was going to die. I was like, oh my god. I was freaking out. But thankfully, Doctor Strange was like, here's the stone. My sister made a good point. She was like, it was kind of stupid for him to hand over this stone. Because, early in the movie, Doctor Strange was like, I'm protecting this stone over you and the kid, right? But I could look past that, because, they fought together and everything. Iron Man was about to die, and, they pretty much were going to lose anyway. So, I don't know. It's not a big deal to me. Like I said, the only big deal for me, sort of big deal, was the tonal changes all throughout, like that, with tragedy and then humor. Yeah, because like I said, at the beginning of the movie when Loki and Heimdall died, I was just like so in awe of that. But then literally right after that, you get to Iron Man and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. All this funny stuff happens with them. It's like, okay, I'm laughing, but like I'm still kind of like, Loki's dead, Heimdall's dead. Yeah, man. So yeah, the big deaths were Gamora, Heimdall, Loki, and then Vision. I assume Vision's dead. With that stone, he turned gray and he fell dead. I'm pretty sure Vision's dead. Okay, so I think now I'm going to talk about the end credit scene and the very mysterious ending with people vanishing. I want to talk about that last. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should talk about besides that first. I think I pretty much covered all the major things. Oh, I should talk about Thor's little story. Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones, that was so cool. His little role. Everyone was wondering what his role would be because, he got announced as being part of the cast. So he was like a dwarf, but like a giant dwarf. It was a weird thing. And then he made this really cool axe weapon for Thor. I love that weapon. I love the new Thor now because he's got this really cool axe. He's got the new like suit on or whatever. He's got like a replacement eye that Rocket, hit up his butt. That was some funny stuff right there. But that axe thing is so super powerful. Like, Jesus Christ, that thing is so, OP, overpowered. When he showed up at Wakanda with it and just like struck the ground and everything, and he almost defeated Thanos with the thing. I actually thought, is Thor gonna kill Thanos right here? Like, he gets all the stones and it's like, oh, he gets killed. Like, okay, you got what you wished for. You get to see Thanos with all 6 stones at once. And then it's like, oh, he kills him right afterwards. But no, actually, he didn't kill Thanos. But I really thought, Jesus, Thor just... That's an overpowered weapon right there. So yeah, that was crazy. So... Yeah, I guess I'll talk about the ending now. That was so crazy. People just started vanishing. And there's no way they're dead. There's no way they're actually dead, because... It's Spider-Man, it's Black Panther, it's Winter Soldier, or he's known as White Wolf now, or whatever his name is. There's no way they're dead. I mean, come on, those characters. Here's my thing. What I think it is that Thanos wiped out half the population, but not, like, actually wiped them out. He sent them off to some sort of, I guess, purgatory, or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it looked like after he got all the stones, he did the snap. I think he snapped his fingers because he was like, after Thor stabbed him with the axe, he's like, you should have went for my head. And I was like, oh no. And I think he snapped his fingers. I don't know what it was. It was something. The screen went white. He basically just used the power of all the 6 stones. But I don't know if it was the snap that destroys the universe. But it looks like what happened, something happened. Like, it shows him briefly before he escapes. His glove was like, it looked like it got destroyed or whatever. And then he teleports away or whatever before they can get to him. So I think some weird thing happened where it was like a glitch. Like, I don't know. It just went too overpowered and like his glove got kind of beat up from it and kind of torn up and stuff. I don't know what to make of it. Everyone in the theater was just like, what's happening? Like, people are just vanishing and... I don't know. It was very odd. I'm sure we'll get explanations and tons of theories. And oh, if you read the comic books, you'll know that actually they're being sent to, like, there's gonna be tons of that. I'm sure. I'm sure this is taken from some sort of storyline. There's got to be something that's happened similar to this. Um, with people with them vanishing. They're not dead. There's no way. Okay, so that's my take on it. I think just random selection, half the population, people vanished. Okay, that's not why that's why every single person didn't vanish. Only certain ones did. It was just I think it was just random selection, and we see that in the end credit scene. And there was no mid credit scene too, which I thought was very jarring. I was like, okay, we're doing this. Make us sit through the whole credits. I mean, I get it. We would have did that anyways, but only one credit scene. Okay. And also, you notice this movie just ended with plain text. Usually, all these movies have like a cool animated sequence during the credits, at the start of the credits, that relates to the movie, right? Whether it's like visual cues back to the movie and little caricatures and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. It looks like the movie you just watched. But this movie, the credits were playing, and it was playing like dramatic music and like, whoa. So it was very different. Okay, so the end credit scene, I literally half expected the little thing to say X-Men on it. Now I know, okay, they haven't completed the deal yet. X-Men isn't officially owned by Disney or anything like that yet. Um, and plus, how would they integrate them in, already with all this stuff established? Here's my thing. When they include the X-Men, they're gonna have to reboot it. Obviously, they're gonna have to change every character, the castmates and all that. I mean, the people who play them, because you can't include this already existed X-Men universe. There's no way these X-Men films happen without mention of Iron Man and vice versa. There's no way these both exist in the same world. You'd have to reboot the whole series. Or I had a theory that maybe an alternate universe, there's the X-Men franchise, right, with Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman and all that, and then an alternate universe of this, and then somehow there's maybe the Infinity Stones bring them together at some point, and they actually cross over. That was my theory. If they were to continue the same storyline, same cast members that are in X-Men right now, but I doubt it because Hugh Jackman retired as Wolverine, Patrick Stewart retired as Professor X. So I think they're going to reboot the whole thing. But no, I actually kind of expected the thing that, it showed the Captain Marvel logo. Everyone was like, oh yeah, Captain Marvel. I half expected it to say calling X-Men or something like that. I was like, what if it says X-Men right now? And then the theater would have went nuts for sure. But what it showed Captain Marvel. Now, if you guys don't know, the next movie is Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then after that, which is going to be next year, is Captain Marvel, the first female-led MCU movie with Brie Larson. It's supposed to take place in the 90s. It's got Nick Fury in it. It's got Agent Coulson in it. It's got Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy in it randomly. I don't know what's up with that. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is it takes place in the 90s. So obviously Captain Marvel's been doing something in between then and now. There's a lot of major things that have happened since. So where is her character? So it looks like she's in hiding or something. I don't know what the deal is. We have to see that movie. And Nick Fury obviously was on his little device and he called Captain Marvel because I guess she was the last hope maybe. Because it's been confirmed she's going to be in Avengers 4. So I guess she's going to come and save the day somehow. Now, I don't know what her powers are or anything like that, but I guess she's a major character, so we'll have to see what happens. So yeah, Nick Fury showed up, he said, "Mother," and he disappeared. That was pretty funny. So him and Maria Hill were in the end credit scene, and they both vanished. Wow. And I'm assuming that Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to take place, like, after Civil War, not after this. Because, like, how do you follow up with this? So what I'm trying to say is Avengers 4 is going to be what follows this chronologically. There's no way they're going to have Ant-Man and the Wasp take place after all this craziness. That's going to have to take place, like I said, after Civil War or something. And also, Captain Marvel. So what I'm trying to say is the next two movies both take place before this movie. And then the third movie that's coming out after this is Avengers 4. So that's going to be the next one chronologically. They're going to have to do it that way. And then, they didn't want to reveal what the Avengers 4 title was because it's a spoiler. Now, I saw a cool theory that was somebody was like, the title is probably called Avenge Us. That's probably the title of the movie, Avenge Us. I actually kind of like that idea, especially with that ending. Um, they're not all dead, but it could refer to the people that actually did die, like Vision and Loki and stuff like that, and Gamora. So, yeah, I don't know what the title's going to be. I hope they reveal it soon. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait for that, but I want to know what the title is. Yeah, and then after Avengers 4 is Guardians Volume 3 and Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man movie. So, obviously they're not dead, okay? Star-Lord disappeared, Drax disappeared, Mantis disappeared, a lot of people disappeared. I don't know where they're going to go with that, but they did film this movie and Avengers 4 back to back. I think Avengers 4, they're going to go and film some more stuff for it. It's not completely done, I think. So, yeah, they obviously know. I'm sure there's a reason they handpick certain characters to vanish and handpick certain ones not to vanish, right? So we'll have to see what happens. And a lot of people were thinking also Captain America might die, and he didn't die. He made it. But we'll have to see what happens in the next Avengers, which is a year away. We'll have to wait a year to see what happens. This movie, it kind of ended on a cliffhanger. Which, you can expect, because this was intended originally to be a part 1 and a part 2. So I can't say I'm mad at that, but it's just like, I gotta wait a year. But at least we're getting some movies in between then, so that's good. And some stuff from DC and some stuff from, Deadpool and X-Men Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, which sadly got pushed to 2019, right? They're supposed to come out this year. Anyways, I actually do like those Fox movies. I know a lot of people don't. The thing with Fox is that they took chances. I don't think Disney would have made Logan. They wouldn't have made Deadpool, right? The way that Fox made them is what I'm saying. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But that's a whole different topic. So yeah, I think I pretty much talked about everything. This is almost 40 minutes, which is crazy. I didn't think I'd talk this long. But there was so much that happened in this movie. Yeah. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. And if you're going to mention spoilers, please, at the start of your comment, put spoilers in all caps, so that way somebody doesn't read your spoilers. But let me know what you thought of the movie overall, if you had any favorite parts, but make sure you put a spoiler citation thing. Don't have much else to say, but yeah, just feel free to say whatever in the comments, but please don't be a jerk and spoil it for somebody. And, if I didn't mention something, let me know. Like, hey, what'd you think about this? You didn't talk about this particular thing that I can't think of at the moment. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching this, guys. I need to go to sleep, but I'll upload this first, obviously. Right? Anyways, it's 11 o'clock. Alright, thanks, guys, for watching. Infinity War, amazing. I'm 9 out of 10, I think, is a good score for this. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.